What is up, y'all? W Doubles at you again. Long ass overdue update. Seems like I always freaking say that, but it's the truth. Uh, one more month left of school, so hopefully things will get a little more steady. Won't be juggling so much shit. I can actually just hold down a job and have some free time when I'm not working, so that will be nice. And oh yeah, 200 subs got hit fairly quickly after the announcement. Appreciate the fuck out of you guys, really do. Super awesome. And so yeah, as promised, there will be a contest coming your way, hopefully within the next month. I'm thinking like a $25 gift card, like Amazon gift card or even a Visa gift card, something like that. Just let y'all pick up the movie, and I'll throw in some extra horror goodies with that. Or if there, maybe y'all give me some suggestions, some other stuff. I can always like, pick out a Scream Factory or pick out a $25 Blu-ray that you want, and I'll send it your way. Something like that. We'll figure it out, but as I said, like maybe leave some suggestions in the bottom what you guys might think. Some good ideas for contests to be. But yeah, just got back from vacation and went to North Carolina to see one of my favorite bands of all time, Incubus. Kicked ass. But got to finally hit up some family videos. Hit up Manifest, which is a cool sister store of FYE. Definitely check those out. It's like a cool record store vibe. Feels like more your mom and pop record store, even though it's under the FYE umbrella. So check them out. Yeah, so some cool stuff. Got a fairly big stack here. We got some Scream Factory goodies coming your way. So I got a couple VHS actually this update. 50 cents at the pawn shop, so I really couldn't pass these up. Occasional midnight movie sesh, we'll throw on some VHS. It's kind of a fun thing. Always like the trailers on these. But anyways, I know this got a DVD release that I will probably end up upgrading and checking out too. But that's Flowers in the Attic. Classic story. I think a lot of people know the actual story. I haven't seen the actual film adaptation. So really want to check that one out. And I wasn't sure if this had a release. It probably does. You don't see or hear much about it though. Love at First Bite, Orion Pictures release, and yeah, Roger Corman produced. So looks cheesy and campy. George Hamilton is Dracula. Interesting to check it out. Nonetheless, so let's get into those DVDs. My lone family video pickup. I pretty much had to grab something to say. I had grabbed something from Family Video. The one I went to is probably not the biggest or best one I've ever seen, or that's out there. That's, like I said, the first one I've ever been to, but there wasn't a whole lot of stuff you could buy. And when there was, it wasn't anything I really wanted, or it was kind of pricey. There wasn't a whole lot of cheap releases. And this is one of the cheap releases of something I actually wanted to check out, and that is The Monster. I believe this was DirecTV exclusive when it first came out. Really, looks like a really cool creature feature. I remember seeing the trailer when it came out. Heard pretty good things about this one. I think it might have even got like independent releases, but definitely not a wide release for this one. And yeah, super interested to check that one out. So that was my family video pickup, The Monster. Alright, let's get into... Man, I do not remember where I got these, but I got them somewhere. I'm thinking this was probably all Manifest. So let me throw that over here. Oh, fuck it. We'll go ahead and show them off. There's some more Manifest stuff that'll be later in the update that I've got mixed in the stack. Grave Encounters. Fantastic found footage. Pretty creepy shit, though. I wouldn't say it's the best found footage I've ever seen, but it's really cool how they parody Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures. They got that going on, and they go in there making a reality TV show, but shit really hits the fan. This was a serial killer collection. I always fuck up his name. Yuli Lomel, director of the original Boogeyman, and plenty of movies from the 80s and early 90s you guys have probably heard of. But this is like all his serial killer movies. You got Black Dahlia, Zodiac Killer, and the Green River Killer. Got this on the cheap for the 3-pack, and they're all actually individual discs, so that's always a perk in your multi-packs. Let me know y'all's thoughts on that one. I'm pretty sure I got this one at the pawn shop because this was either pawn shop or flea market. I think flea market actually. Uber cheap, and that is High Tension. Really good. Of course, one of the French 5 nasties, and one of the only ones I didn't have. I believe I only like one in the actual French extreme shit. Alright, let's see. Got a couple at Walmart. I had to pop on this. I know it's shitty ass Mill Creek, but there's some movies that really intrigued me on this that I don't think have a major release. And this is Kung Fu Zombies, which has the movie Kung Fu Zombie and We're Going to Eat You, both of which I've seen and are good. Toho, or no, maybe not Toho, but Shaw Brothers, I believe, originally did these. But you got Shaolin vs. Evil Dead, Shaolin vs. Evil Dead 2, Spirited Killer 2, Spirited Killer 3, and Kung Fu from Beyond the Grave. Like I said, stuff that just really sounded intriguing, like throwback, cheesy Kung Fu horror. I mean, I had a hard time passing this up. Like I said, I know it's Mill Creek, and it was on the cheap. It was like $6, so I'm not going to lose sleep over it. This is another one. I believe this was in like $7. But I had to grab it because I'm a huge William Castle fan, and I really do enjoy this. I saw this in Turner Classic back in the day, starring Joan Crawford. I Saw What You Did, as I said, directed by the man William Castle. I really like the later Joan Crawford and Betty Davis stuff when they started getting more into horror stuff. Really fun and more thriller. Guess this is maybe more thriller, but it has that horror suspense elements for sure. Definitely check that one out. I Saw What You Did. Alright, local movie joint. Well, not too local, Sevierville. Really cool dollar DVD place that I have hit up before on past updates. And a lot of cheap stuff. They had like 3 for $5 and a lot of like $2 and $1 DVDs. Got this for $1, and that is the 3 Extremes. I've wanted to see this forever. 2-disc edition. Of course, a horror anthology done by some horror legends from over the seas, mostly Korean, I believe. Got Park Chan-wook. Of course, Takeshi Miike did one, and which is Japan, Korean, and did they do one from another Asian country? Hong Kong Extreme from Fruit Chan. So that's cool. You got China, Korea, and Japan all represented in this little horror anthology. I know they made a 3 Extremes 2 as well, I believe. Yeah, I always want to check that one out. So let me know y'all's thoughts on that one. This is the Scorpion Double Venom Double Pack. Really picked this up because it's a Tokyo Shock release. It looks like more sleazy thriller style. Yeah. I don't know how much horror stuff this is, but it's definitely got the exploitation elements to it. Really interested in checking this one out as well. Let's see, this was all like 3 for $5. Or, yeah, I think that's what it ended up being. Restoration, directed by Zach Ward, who I will always remember as the bully from Christmas Story. But yeah, I know nothing about this one. I actually popped this in the other night and went to sleep. Don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but need to really pop it in and actually watch all that one. Then you have another Roger Corman part of the Vampire Collection. So I got some Roger Corman vampire stuff on this update. And that is Dracula Rising from 1992. It's early 90s horror. So not sure what to expect from that one. Probably going like low expectations when I check that one out. But there you go. One of the few Stephen King adaptations I have not seen, and it's an Anchor Bay release. Quicksilver Highway. You got Two Tales of Terror from Stephen King and Clive Barker, and directed by the man Mick Garris. Who else would be doing an adaptation of Stephen King? He does some alright jobs though. Hi peeps. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Got a new camera, by the way. That I've never used before, so let me know about the picture quality and the audio quality. Supposedly 720p on this camera, so we'll see what's popping. Hopefully everything looks and sounds good, guys. You know, other than my ugly dome. But yeah, little beer break. Got some New Belgian, one of my favorite brewing companies. Their IPA Voodoo Ranger. So cheers to y'all on that. Delicious. But where I was, keeping along with the Stephen King adaptations, Golden Years, one of the few I hadn't seen as well. Always interested in that. I always kind of thought this was Stephen King's take on Cocoon, something like that. So, hell yeah. Alright. Back with the pawn shops. Been hitting these up at the pawn shops. I'll show them real quick. Got Final Destination 2, Final Destination 3, and the Final Destination. So, only one I need to pick up is the first one. It's crazy. I've got I feel like I have most of the big movie franchises and stuff. But I did not own any of the Final Destinations, and I always enjoyed those. Just like this movie that I also enjoyed, but and I used to own, but I don't know if I borrowed it out or what the fuck happened to it. I couldn't find it. And so hell yeah, but that is Frozen, Adam Green. Great, just a great little horror flick. Really showcases isolation at its finest. Yeah, I really dig Adam Green, man. He's a good little filmmaker. So yeah, Frozen, of course. Now this is more of my Manifest stuff right here, finally. A lot of these were buy one, get one on the used. You know how FYE does, but they actually had some movies I was interested in. The Midnight Movies double feature of Devils of Darkness and Witchcraft. Now this, yeah, I gotta check these out. This has got to be right in my wheelhouse all the way. Got Lon Chaney Jr. in Witchcraft, so that's always a plus. So let me know y'all's feeling on these. I'm a huge Midnight Movies fan, as y'all know if you've watched any of my updates. I've always liked that line. I know all that shit gets re-released and MGM hooks it up kind of thing, but I still like picking them up, just like Anchor Bays. I know that stuff's getting re-released, but I like picking it up. I've heard good things about this Scream Factory release. One of the better, quote-unquote, newer films, chiller films kind of stuff, and that is The Boy, starring Rainn Wilson. I heard good things about this one. I think Moods was telling me this one was actually one of the decent newer ones, because I asked the homies, like, what's some of the better new Scream Factory releases, you know, their original stuff. Because, I mean, I feel like they're very hit or miss. I love The Battery. There's one or two I dug pretty well, but then there's some other ones that I just thought were shit. So, I'm interested to check that one out. I've heard good things. Now, this one is one I've been looking for a minute. Actually, now this is one Lionsgate release I'd honestly never even heard of. Infection. Or I've never seen it. I've actually heard of it. I want to say one of the homies reviewed this. I wonder if it's Derek or not on the body bags maybe. But yeah, another Midnight Movies release. The Monster That Changed the World. And I said I always love picking these up and collecting these. So I end up making a steal on all these. Like I said, the buy one get one. Like I got pretty much 6 movies for like $20. I know the homie Derek did review this one. Classic movie from what I've heard. One of Gene Rollins' most famous movies, and one I'd never really seen before. I know it inspired the man Rob Zombie, and that of course is the Living Dead Girl Redemption Films release. So hell yeah. Unrated Redemption release. I always thought that cover art was pretty fucking hideous, but what are you gonna do? And this is one of the few Dimension Extremes I had not seen or owned, and that is Nightmare Detective. Yeah, don't know shit about this one, but They can be a little hit or miss, but for the most part, I do dig the Dimension Extremes. That's a pretty good little label. Yeah, what else we got? We got some pawn shop goodies. I wanted to revisit this one. I rented it when it came out, and I don't know. It was a passable remake. It was just okay. You do got Sam Raimi attached to this one, but of course the Poltergeist remake. I don't know. I thought it was mid-range. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. So I want to revisit this one eventually. Figured that's a decent little remake to pick up, especially for the cheap. Now this is a movie I've wanted to see for a fucking long time. I've pretty much dug every adaptation of this film, and that is The Last Man on Earth. But this particular version was the Charlton Heston 70s version, known as The Omega Man. I believe there's even a newer one, I Am Omega. It was okay. Probably one of my least favorite ones. Like I said, y'all know I Am Legend, and of course, the original The Last Man on Earth with Vincent. So, hell yeah. I've always wanted to check this one out. This one always looked cool as shit to me. I've seen some clips here and there and just people talking about it. So, I think Charlton Heston's pretty badass myself. But, Teresa is underrated. You know, it was kind of in that little era. What was it, 2007-ish, 2000... Yeah, I was pretty spot on, 2006. That little era, you know, you had a lot of this stuff kind of coming out. I want to call it the vacation horror. Perfect Getaway, fucking, The Ruins. Mine's going blank, but y'all know where I'm getting at. There's a lot of that little era. Seemed like it was a group of friends going on vacation. Shit hits the fan. Or The Descent even. Descent's fucking fantastic, but I hadn't seen this since it first came out, and I remember it being okay. I don't remember that much about it, so I wanted to revisit it. Always worth a pop for $2. Alright. Well, we wrapping it up, homies. Let's get to the main attraction, and that is the Blu-rays. Just want to throw this out here. I thought this might be of horror fans' interest. I want to preface this with saying I have never been a fan of anime, which is odd because I love pretty much everything Asian culture, especially Japanese and like this. And of course, when it comes to film, South Korean and Japanese horror are some of the best. But I mean, I love kung fu movies from China, and like I said, I really just dig Asian culture. It's always interested me. But never a fan of anime. Never got into Dragon Ball Z, any of that shit. If that's your thing, no offense to y'all, that's cool. Appreciate the art style and that kind of stuff. But I watched this years ago, and I remember liking it. That is Vampire Hunter D. Super bloody. It kind of reminds me of how I would imagine if Castlevania got made into a movie, which is interesting enough now a Netflix series that I'm just skeptical to check out because I've always kind of wanted to see a Castlevania series, but now that it's here, I'm scared to check it out. But this is Vampire Hunter D. I want to say I got this for like, it was either $2 or $3 for both of these Blu-rays. Popped on this one, and lo and behold, they had Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, which I'm pretty sure is a sequel. If it's not, I'm fucking retarded, but yeah. But hell yeah, so you got both Vampire Hunter D flicks. Really cool art style. Like I said, the original one, definitely check out. If you're a horror fan, I think it's at least worth a gander. You might be surprised. Alright. Let's see, we hit up the Scream Factory sale, and we hit up some Vinegar Syndrome. And let's go ahead and do the Vinegar Syndromes. We'll throw these two in here first, because I have not seen them. I've heard great things about these two, though, and that is Not Train to Terror. Always heard pretty good things about this one. Always been interested. Cool little, semi-basic cover art, but cool shit. You got a Holocaust survivor are terrorized by the son of Satan. But yeah, it's actually really cool anthology horror. I'm always down with some anthologies. I'm gonna check this one out. Good stuff from what I hear. They had good deals on the Vinegar Syndrome, so I actually got the limited edition of The Undertaker. Pretty cool, the little blood printed set. I kind of dig that. I like how it feels and looks. Of course, Joe Spinell holding it down. Let me know y'all's thought on this one. Always a fan of Joe Spinell from what I've seen. He always kills it, so I figured, him doing a Maniac Killer, can't go wrong, no pun intended. Another one that really just looked like a fun, cheesy good time I had to pop on for the cheeks, and that is Death Row Game Show. Pretty sure this went on to influence movies like the Uh-Oh Show. Really just over-the-top comedy, horror stuff, takes place on the set of a game show. I always thought that was kind of a cool, fun storyline. So I wanted to pick that up. Now this movie I thought was a pretty damn fun little time right here. And probably for good reason. That is Witch Trap, of course, by the man, Kevin S. Tenney. Man, I wish he really made some more movies, because pretty much everything I've seen Kevin Tenney fucking was badass, man. He was on fire there in the late 80s. But, yeah, of course, from Witchboard and Eye of the Demon, stuff like that. And this falls in line with more like a Witchboard, I guess. And you have the creepy-ass dude from Witchboard, so that always adds a cool creepiness factor. I thought this was a pretty fun little time. Definitely check that one out. Then we got some Scream Factories. Death Valley, I reviewed this one. It was alright. Nothing too crazy. Shake my head out. It's one I just never heard of when it first got released by Scream Factory, and I always wanted to peep it out. And back to Christmas Story again in this update. It has Ralphie from the Christmas Story. Hey, but it all comes back to Bob Clark. Can't go wrong with him. My last week's review on the body bags, and that was the movie Body Bags. Of course, inspired the cool channel. So, but yeah, the master John Carpenter, a little anthology action. You got Mark Hamill. You got Stacy Keach. Shit tons of cool cameos from horror legends: Wes Craven, Tobe Hooper, Greg Nicotero, of course John Carpenter. Fun little stuff, little anthology stuff going on here. I don't know which one I like the most. Probably the Stacy Keach one. I dug the hair one, even though there is some spotty CG. I thought Stacy Keach was badass. I'm always a fan of him. And of course Mark Hamill, I think he gives a pretty good performance. Can't go wrong with him either. And another little anthology. I've just been on an anthology kick the past month or two, and just kind of been grabbing up what I can here or there. And that is Nightmares. This is one that everybody's wanted releasing for a minute. 4 stories. Pretty fun little time. I'm trying to think what was my favorite one. I don't know. It was actually probably the first one and the second one. Cheesy ass arcade one with Emilio Estevez. There's something that's just appealing about that, though. It's so just campy and terrible at the same time, but it's just a fun little time. And I finish it out with a very, very strong film, in my opinion. I had to get the Blu-ray upgrade of this. I need to pop it in and check the transfer, but I literally watched this a few days before I end up ordering this. That is The Sentinel. It has to be one of the best all-time demon flicks, in my opinion. It's if I made a top 10 demon flicks, I think this would make the cut. Definitely, I don't know. It reminds me of The Beyond, I guess, more than anything, but it really has its own feel and look to it. I'm really interested to check out that transfer. I always thought this was just criminally underrated, man. The Sentinel. How did this not... Why did it take this long to get a fucking badass release for this movie? It just blows my mind. This is easy 9 out of 10 material, going towards a 10 out of 10. Fucking fantastic flick. Cannot suggest that one enough. And that will do it, y'all. Until the next one, we'll hit it up. Peace.